Hi, everyone. We're Team 7, and we're here to talk about Boeing today. So just a little look as to where we'll be going throughout this presentation. We'll start with the issues faced by Boeing, what the future vision and mission statement will look like, the change initiatives and process that we recommend, as well as any challenges that the firm may face when trying to implement them. So just starting with the need for change, Boeing is known as being the global leader of aerospace design, innovation, and manufacturing, among other things. However, recently they've also become known for their 737 MAX jets, and not necessarily in a positive light. There have been 2 fatal crashes and a series of other emergency safety landings in recent years. These major events have caught the attention of millions of people and, of course, the media, who called into question the practices and operations of Boeing. Safety is a key aspect of this industry, especially in the passenger airline realm, and many speculate that it's not being prioritized by the firm. Boeing is now in a position where it's facing criticism and backlash from various stakeholders, which could cause irreparable damage to their reputation if not addressed soon. Further, the 20-month grounding period of their 737 MAX jets cost the firm an estimated $20 billion. As the company culture currently stands, Boeing's culture is weak. The values are not clearly defined, and employees work under varying expectations, depending on the part of the company that they fall under. Company culture is the foundation of a firm, so it's up to management to proactively build one that's strong and guiding. However, recent press and whistleblowers are citing an increasingly toxic culture at Boeing, one that really only cares about success and profit. When employees would step up to voice concerns about safety practices and operations within the company, they're quickly silenced by upper management. This creates a serious misalignment between the company's supposed values of safety and accountability and their actual actions, which prioritize profit. Their culture of learning is being pushed to the side in favor of continual success. Also, as we know, a firm's social evaluations hold a lot of weight within society and consumers' minds, and it's a key role of leaders to manage them. In terms of legitimacy, Boeing's regulatory and moral legitimacy may not be up to standards. Their reputation is being known as a top aerospace industry leader, yet their signal of quality and consistency is being questioned by the series of safety failures. Boeing's status is high within the industry hierarchy and stands safe as of now, but could fall in the long run if the issues are not addressed, since it serves as a proxy for quality when not easily observed. Lastly, Boeing faces the threat of stigmatization. The crashes and groundings have created event stigma, and in the long run could turn into some kind of labeling stigma. Overall, looking at the CSR or a stakeholder approach, Boeing is sacrificing key areas in favor of shareholder primacy. This, combined with their weak culture, creates a significant need to change, which hopefully will enable the firm to regain a competitive advantage and stay a leader in the industry.
Next, we're going to move on to the vision, mission, and values of the company. As a part of Boeing's change process, we revised their current mission and vision statements in order to create a more pointed future for the company as a whole. Our revised mission statement reads, "As we innovate and operate in the aerospace industry, each one of us takes personal responsibility for the safety, efficiency, and effectiveness of our teams and products to bring people closer together and to make our world a better, more connected place." This mission statement further supports our intent for Boeing to exist for all its stakeholders, not just its shareholders. Our vision statement for the future of Boeing is to be the leader of aerospace engineering excellence through integration and innovation with an emphasis on safety and transparency. This more pointed vision statement reflects Boeing's need for more than just a shared future. Boeing needs to focus on the key areas of their business model and culture that will eventually create an environment that fosters growth and collaboration in key areas of innovation, safety, and transparency. In order to reflect these revised mission and vision statements, we've identified 4 new espoused values that will help bring Boeing into alignment. These values are transparency, accountability, integrity, and innovation beyond boundaries. The value of transparency allows for stakeholders and customers to see the company's doings, both the good and the bad. The value of accountability creates trust among the company by creating systems that run throughout its levels that will also help eliminate the toxic culture that runs rampant. The value of integrity will help build trust and support within the Boeing organization, and innovation beyond boundaries continually will push the boundaries of the aerospace industry by creating and improving at all times. These new values emphasize Boeing's improved mission of taking personal responsibility in the industry as its biggest leader and pace setter. Boeing's shifted focus is to excellence in their field, and this is only achievable with an emphasis on improving these 4 areas.
So now we'll be talking about the changes, goals, and key steps that we've proposed and believe will help Boeing reclaim its stature as an industry leader. And so one of the first things Boeing should focus on is regaining their stakeholders' trust and confidence. And so over the next 5 to 7 years, Boeing should set an overarching goal of regaining its stakeholders' trust by setting a new standard of consistent engineering excellence in all their products and showing accountability and transparency when defects or issues come up. And so in the next couple of years, Boeing should focus on changing their manufacturing process to follow an agile workflow across all their departments and incorporate a more rigorous white box testing approach in their review process. And so by implementing agile, Boeing departments will easily be able to prioritize tasks and requirements, enhance collaboration across teams, and have a common understanding of what work has been completed and what work or issues need to be addressed. And with the white box testing approach, Boeing QA engineers would actively be trying to break the system they're testing and discover any issues and could potentially help in identifying problems that might be very unlikely to occur. And Boeing should also focus on creating a more advanced full flight simulator or FFS for training and target FFS levels of C or D. And basically these levels are requirements that serve as a sort of guidance provided by the FAA, the aircraft manufacturers, with level D being the most comparable to actual flight conditions. Boeing should also set up an anonymous communication channel across the company and encourage employees to openly share any concerns that they may have, since internal reports showed that some concerns are getting overlooked. And to also promote transparency, Boeing should provide monthly check-ins to update all their relevant stakeholders regarding any significant changes or news. So for Boeing to successfully adapt and regain its stakeholders' trust, it should first have its HR and operations work together to secure funding for the agile training and R&D for the new flight simulator. They should also work on setting up the employee concerns channel and prepare drafts of the initial monthly newsletter. The next step would be to set up the training to begin the company-wide shift to an agile workflow process by first making the changes in small test groups and having a control group to compare the relative progress and effectiveness of the change. And similarly for the flight simulator, Boeing should create a small test group to work on building a level 3 or 4 flight simulator and collaborate with third-party airline pilots to compare the differences in quality of training, performance evaluation, and cost between the new simulator and the current one. And so most of Boeing's employees will likely recognize the need and urgency of this change, but since it'll likely be a transformative change of the organization, there'll probably be some resistors to the change, either due to complacency or other concerns. So it's really important to identify and effectively manage all resistors as soon as possible, as well as using the right approach to effectively manage a resistor given their type and origin. And so another area that Boeing should focus on improving is sustainability. And so over the next 5 to 7 years, Boeing should reaffirm its commitment to sustainability through the development of eco-friendly innovations and the reduction of its carbon footprint. And so Boeing should try to target 15 to 25% improvements in fuel efficiency for each new generation aircraft and standardize additive printing, which is just basically 3D printing across all its departments to reduce wasted resources. Boeing should also aim to invest and work closely with sustainability projects and environmentally conscious suppliers to show their commitment to being eco-friendly and serving their communities. And so to successfully make the necessary changes to improve Boeing's sustainability, proponents of the Change Coalition should start by actively going out and seeking key stakeholder support. But unlike the previous change proposed, some of Boeing's employees may not recognize this change as an urgency. And so to alleviate this concern with the support of key stakeholders, proponents of the Change Coalition should stress to employees the future economic opportunities and favorable customer outlooks that are typically associated with firms who actively engage in sustainability practices. Boeing should then begin the rollout of standardizing additive printing by starting with 1 to 2 departments and then assessing R&D expenses and inventory levels to determine if the instituted change was consistently able to provide better results before making any further changes. And next, Boeing should make greater use of their existing Eco Demonstrator program, which is basically their flight test research division, as well as leveraging their supplier and operator partnerships to test out promising new innovations with the goal of having at least 2 to 3 new innovations to test every quarter. And lastly, it may take some time to see the benefits from implementing the sustainability initiatives, so it's good to celebrate and build off successful victories, no matter how small. It's also important to recognize and reward early supporters of the change initiative because it helps increase employee engagement and performance and shows other employees that Boeing values them and their contributions to the change effort.
So next, we'll discuss some potential challenges Boeing may encounter and solutions to these problems. It is difficult to predict exactly what challenges may occur at Boeing, but there are 3 things Boeing should prepare for. The first and maybe largest challenge that Boeing may deal with is shareholder resistance. Many of Boeing's shareholders include short-term institutional investors in the form of hedge funds and asset managers. Many of these investors have been known to put pressure on boards and executives to make decisions that only affect the bottom line. While we believe that these changes help all of Boeing's stakeholders in the long term, some may not feel similarly. A second challenge could be hesitancy about the viability of sustainability efforts. Employees and managers may question whether these goals can realistically be achieved. Employees may also wonder whether the change truly helps sustainability and safety. A third challenge could be a lack of urgency. Boeing enjoys a high status in the aerospace industry, and employees could feel comfortable with the current situation. Complacency could lead employees to actively resist change or sabotage efforts. So, in order to address all three challenges, Boeing needs to educate and communicate with employees and shareholders. Employees may be rightly hesitant about the changes. Boeing needs to clearly lay out all the goals and so it can educate its employees and shareholders through workshops and town halls. These can also be a point of collaboration between different stakeholders. They also need to hear concerns from their shareholders so they can address their problems with the change. Boeing needs to build a guiding coalition early. Since this is a change that encompasses all of Boeing, the CEO will need to be part of this team. The rest of the coalition, there is more leeway, but there needs to be individuals of influence, leadership skills, and expertise in the area of sustainability and safety. These coalitions can help win over employees who may be more resistant to the change. The final way to address these challenges would be to align rewards with the change. In order to create a sense of urgency, Boeing needs to tie bonus structure to how well a department follows through with its goals. We believe that through addressing safety and sustainability, Boeing can regain the public's trust and prepare itself for the future. With these changes, Boeing will become a more effective and efficient organization while holding itself accountable to all stakeholders. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and we look forward to answering your questions.